Should be a fun match. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun match. Obviously, women's doubles is always, you know, the pairing of Milan and Mya for Miami brings a blend of aggression, while Brooklyn's duo offers more of a little bit more experience, a little bit more consistency. So this is going to be a fun match.
Unforced error on the right side.
1-0-2.
I would probably put Brooklyn as the favorites in this match overall. Important for Miami to get a good start here.
Yeah, Miami's going to be looking for a strong start out of the gate. Some of those stronger drives you're going to see going left to right, opening up some of those gaps, and as we get going here.
Rohrabacher with the backhand into the net. Her partner is Jackie Kawamoto.
3-0-2.
One of the changes we've seen in this season is we've gone away from rally scoring into games to 11. It's really important to start quickly.
Yeah, in PPA, obviously you have a lot more time to get it going. If you lose a serve or whatever, you have time to kind of bounce back a little bit. Obviously here you have to come right out of the gate really strong, as Miami's done here.
Oh, some hard hitting. Rohrabacher hit that high, but it hit her opponent. One of those sorry, not sorry moments.
After 2 unforced errors, she wanted that one.
2-3-1.
A little risky on that right side, trying to speed that up down the line. Paid the price.
Rachel's going to go back and serve again here.
3-3-1. Second serve. 3-3-2.
Into the net. That will go back over to Rachel to serve.
4-3-2. Side out.
And we're just seeing maybe both teams trying to settle into this. A few unforced errors.
3-4-1.
You see Rachel with her experience trying to get a little bit more dinking going in that last volley as it was hit out. So rally scoring, you can see her trying to slow down the game a little bit.
Wow, Rohrabacher with a defensive hit and hope lob that just caught that back line.
Yeah, you can tell that she was trying to pull her teammates down towards the kitchen so that she could get the lob back to that back line and kind of make them off their game a little bit.
Unforced error again on that right side from Rohrabacher. We're still at
4-3-2.
4-3-2. Two net cords.
Side out.
One went in favor of Miami, and the second one followed suit. Kawamoto hitting the tape. That ball goes wide.
You can see Bui and Rane there trying to force their opponents back into the transition, though. Transition zone. Couldn't quite execute.
There's painting some lines from Kawamoto on that right side in this first game.
3-4-2.
That's well done from Rohrabacher. Down at the feet of Bui. No chance from her.
4-3-1.
Fire exchange at the net goes in favor of Kawamoto.
You can see after first few points at the beginning, you know, the Brooklyn Pickleball team is really clicking here as we get into the ninth volley of the match.
Bui was ready for that one. Kawamoto paused, let that ball hang, decided to speed it up. Her opponent right there.
5-3-2.
So we reached the halfway point. Players not living in this
6-3-2.
heat and humidity will be unaccustomed to this. Rohrabacher again, ready, backhand, drills it cross court into Bui. That's another point, 7-3.
Ten, 3-2.
Ball goes long from Bui. I'm surprised they haven't taken a timeout. They used the midpoint break, but...
Yeah, you could see them, though, they are trying to adapt to not get to Rohrabacher's backhand, you know, as they were dinking, but that drive just went too far gone.
Rohrabacher went for the lob.
She started to like those during this match. She did two earlier on the first half of the match.
The ATP, oh.
The review will stand, or the call will stand if the refs don't have a clear shot. They have to keep the call as it stood.
So here we go, game point for Brooklyn.
Time in, 10-3-2.
And there it is. Brooklyn started a little conservatively, but took over in that game and really raced her way with it. Tyler Devilliers serving on the right side. And missing the third shot drive.
Riley
Newman. Yep, Riley Newman with the hat backwards. Wow, Devilliers with the quick hands. He's been on and off the tour the last couple of years with some niggling injuries and things. It was great to see him playing well yesterday. But look at that, Dekel Bar with absolute power.
Bar is known for his athleticism on and off the court, so to see that drive, I mean, that's just got to be very hard to defend.
And it looks like Wiley Newman's going to stay on the right side, which is probably unusual for him, who he's used to being the guy.
Yeah, yep.
Oh no, they're staying.
Riley Newman and Dekel Bar, you see, they are trying to get into a little bit more of a rhythm, you know, slow it down just a little bit more, but Miami is not letting them do that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see these long rallies. We averaged 10 shots a rally in our first game. I think these might be a little shorter.
Yeah.
Lots of power on display in this one. Devilliers going straight at Newman. Newman couldn't handle it.
Two, 1-2.
Khlif goes a little long. Your thoughts on Devilliers playing on the right side?
Yeah, I mean, Jay is a very unique player in the fact that he can adjust to wherever he is on the court. I thought he would be playing a little bit more on the left side, but it seems to be working okay for him right now.
Dekel Bar again with the drive, this time going cross court to Khlif. Khlif couldn't quite get that ball over the net. It's just all aggression from the Brooklyn team right now, pounding the ball.
Those hand battles, they are going back and forth, and it's not that one team's winning the hand battle every time. They're actually doing a pretty good job at you know, one team wins one team wins the next.
Oh.
Second serve.
He made it. I thought he may have hit the net there, but he was clear. Backhand Ernie from Devilliers. Add that to his stat box. No, says Newman.
Jay couldn't quite get his paddle there, you know, quick enough, which, you know, we talked about in some of these hand battles, you can't afford to even be a millisecond behind. You have to anticipate the ball before it's even hit. Khlif trying to cheat over into Jay's side. He's saying, let me do that. Well, I got that one.
5-2-2. Side out.
Newman, a shake of the head. Brooklyn were DC last year. They decided to switch names with Brooklyn, which is why Bar is playing for Brooklyn instead of DC.
Second serve.
Wow, just inside there. They thought it was, Khlif thought it was going to go out there, but you notice one thing I liked about that point, Khlif and Devilliers communicating very well together. Oh.
What a point. Dekel Bar likes it. That ball just stayed in, and I have to say the breeze is going from your direction as we look on the court. It's pushing against Bar and Newman, keeping some of those balls in play.
Yeah, going from top to bottom on the TV screen here.
Not that time. Bar tried to essentially poach his own drive. 5-2-2.
5-2-2.
Wow, that one goes just inside 2. That's 2 that Khlif, 2 in the last couple of points to see as we start the second half of this match.
Good call from Bar, leaving that ball to go long.
7-2-2.
Pulling away. Newman was all over that and just hit it too low. You can smile when you're up with this kind of lead.
7-1.
Nicely done.
Rally scoring, so that point's going to go to Miami.
3-7-1.
Another error from Riley Newman. It looks like he wants,
Timeout receiver.
he is taking a timeout. And this is, we talked about this in the first game. There's some wisdom to timeout. Let's see if it works. And we just talked about it, Tyler. Breaking the momentum, it worked perfectly.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Riley Newman call that timeout, even though they did have a lead by 3 points.
4-7-2.
That one just going out.
5-7-2.
No, not that time. Riley Newman kind of gave that one away. I think we all saw that one coming.
6-7-2.
Oh my goodness. Devilliers just couldn't get that wide body out of the way to let that ball go. But a good run from Miami.
Yeah, he knew it was coming. Dekel Bar is a commanding presence here on the court,
7-6-1.
and people were all over that.
Unforced error from Khlif on the left side. Crucial when you are receiving, making those mistakes, giving your opponents a free point. Bar more than happy to take it. Oh my goodness. There was a call for no. That ball was going long, but Khlif was just engaged too long and couldn't help himself.
Oh man, you know, that was, we'll see as Bar serves away here.
Oh my goodness, Khlif. I'd love to know what he was thinking there.
Yeah, I mean, you could see Bar kind of going through the center of the court, so I knew that where he was going, it was just a poor execution to get that ball to land inside.
Here we go, game point for Bar.
10-6-1.
Take a 2-0 lead in this matchup. Great recovery from Newman to keep that ball alive, but Bar went for just a little too much, hit the tape. They have another chance. And it's saved. Devilliers puts it down, backhand side. Well, they had their chances.
You know, it's going back over to Devilliers' side to serve here, and Riley Newman's going to be back to receive. He hasn't hit a serve into the net but once today.
Second serve.
Ball just went long. Again, sticking with that third shot drive, and then the fifth shot drive closer to the net. Just hit it a little too hard.
6-10-2. Side out.
Net courts, love them and hate them.
You know, to Dekel's credit, he was right there ready, but Riley Newman just dominated that point.
Very nicely done from Devilliers. Backhand, again, going to the backhand side of Dekel Bar. He's done that a few times in this game.
Yeah, that's what Khlif, on Khlif's last ball that he hit out, he was trying to go to that left side and just hit it out.
And there it is you're watching from. Here we go. It's the mixed doubles.
Side out.
Push point away. Rane, that net cord, we talked about that a few times earlier. It's you love him and hate him.
He hits it so hard, Dekel Bar.
Dekel Bar taking up about 75% of the court. He is just tall enough, his arm reach is long enough where he can do that without much movement.
Oh, wow. Dekel Bar says, give me some, everyone, after that.
And the fans are on their feet. That's one thing about, you know, we talked about some of the changes in MLP. One thing that hasn't changed in MLP is the great fans and the great atmosphere that we have.
Well, he couldn't do it that time. It wasn't wide enough. He just had to keep it in the court, and he paid the price. Good start, though, for Brooklyn, 2-0. And that ball drifts long. One of the other rules should be mentioned is that the home team gets to see the lineup of the opposition the night before.
Yeah, so that allows them the ability to adjust their own lineup to put their best players on the court for the lineup of that home team.
And I'm guessing, my understanding is the team wearing the darker uniform is the home team.
Yes, I believe that's right. But these are both in white shirts.
Yeah, this has happened more than once. Again, Dekel Bar really playing aggressive and executing very nicely.
And talking with some of the players, they really don't even get these uniforms until about the night before the match. Sometimes just where it is the first, you know, match of the season.
Wow. Oh, well, we haven't mentioned Rohrabacher pretty much at all in this third game because she hasn't been involved. There, she saved it, kept that ball alive. Great hustle.
Dekel, I don't think, realized that she had saved it quite yet until he turned around and he was like, oh, okay, we're still playing here.
Great start from Brooklyn. Miami have work to do at 0-5. And they get it from an unforced error from Bar, who hits his return long. Bar calls for the switch. And was there.
Rane couldn't quite get that one over the net.
1-5-2.
And right now you feel like Miami just are struggling to cope with the pace and power, particularly of Bar, who seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, Dekel Bar, he's so tall and so long that he doesn't have to move very much on the court to get some of those shots that might take other players, shorter players, you know, 1 or 2 steps to adjust.
Second serve.
That one goes a little long. Wind carried it, perhaps. No points lost, though.
5-1-2.
5-1-2.
Side out.
Little speed up from Khlif onto the backhand of Rohrabacher, and it worked. A little bit of momentum, perhaps. Let's see.
1-5-1.
Another net cord. We've seen so many in this match. This time it favors Miami.
The wind on this court is not as protected like a normal championship court would be, so
2-5-1.
you saw the ball bounce and go back. That was probably some of the spin and even a little bit of the wind going from bottom to top of your TV.
Wow. Dekel Bar again. Certainly one of the fan favorites, and I think part of it is because he engages the fans in his play.
And you could see Rachel, she saw him coming, she took a step back. Very good adjustment by her, to her credit, as you saw on the replay there.
2-5-2. Point.
Bar was moving that time and just mishit it. Miami getting back into this.
All of a sudden, it's a 2-point game here. Haven't mentioned Khlif too much in this broadcast of this certain game, but he was able to hit that back to Rachel and save it from as they shifted to the far left side of the court.
4-5-2.
So a great example there of taking an advantage of somebody who calls switch, because Bar had to run all the way across the court and take that drive while he was moving, popped it up, and it was punished. Look at this, we're square.
Side out.
Excellent run from Miami. Some loose play from their opponents, the Brooklyn Pickleball Club, but Brooklyn now have the serve advantage. We switch sides at 6.
5-5-1.
Again, an unforced error for Bar, whose game just seems to have dropped a little bit over the last 5 minutes.
5-5-2. Side out.
I think
What
again,
a turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, now you mentioned we're square here. Rachel Rohrabacher and Dekel Bar, some of the two most experienced athletes.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to me that they haven't called timeout as we get going here on the 6th point.
That's very fast, wristy hands from Bar. Khlif not able to pick the second one up.
5-5-2.
Wow.
Timeout change.
Rane.
6-5-2.
Do you feel that Bar affected Rohrabacher on that one because he scooted over and then said you, and maybe took,
7-5-2.
Yeah,
she wasn't prepared for that. Out
Side out.
serve.
5-7-1.
Great angles. One goes down the right side, painting the line. The other one goes to the other side, spreading
5-7-2.
Brooklyn apart. But an unforced error from Rane. It gives a point to Brooklyn.
6-7-2. Side out.
Should Bar have taken that ball in the middle? He wanted it.
He wanted it. I think Rachel was just, you know, that was her 25% of the court. That, you know, a lot of you see that happen in these mixed doubles partnerships. So a little bit better communication, I think, is what I'd like to see in this.
Rohrabacher that time was able to pick up the deflection and put it down.
You could see them trying to push her out to the left side, probably so Khlif could do one of his signatures we've seen and driving it right down the middle, but that they couldn't quite get there.
ATP, Rohrabacher. Miami have to win this one if they want a chance of taking the most points in this match.
Rohrabacher is a former D1 tennis star. She's not giving up on this match. She has a lot of grit, and we're about to see that in the final few points here.
Just long, heavy flick, topspin from Bar, but it floated beyond the blue.
6-7-2.
Khlif calls for the switch.
Same thing we just saw a couple points ago where Bar reached down to get that and Rachel was already there. Just a miscommunication and a costly one here as the points are starting to get further and further apart.
Miami playing a lot through the middle, and it seems to be working. Rane misses that forehand down the line. Bar has been inching through to the middle. He's paid the price once or twice. Might have there.
7-6-2.
Just a little high. Dekel Bar's not going to let you get away with that.
No,
Don't know if you can hear, but there's plenty of fans cheering on Brooklyn over to the far right of your screen.
6-7-1.
Khlif almost got that back inside his body. Very difficult shot to make.
One thing you did hear in that, which I'm very pleased for from a Brooklyn standpoint, is
7-7-1.
Dekel was talking a lot more to Rachel.
Second serve.
Couldn't quite get that one over Rohrabacher. 7-7.
7-7-2.
Finally poised.
Nice cross-court dink there from Rane. Khlif doing the same thing back the other way at Bar, and Bar could not get it around the post.
And one thing I liked, you talked about the communication from Brooklyn. There was communication.
Rane getting herself back together here as she serves to Rachel Rohrabacher.
Side out.
Fist pump from Bar. He needs a little bit of that he had in the early part of this game where he was feeding off of the crowd.
A little bit of swagger here as he goes, and you talked about the humidity and the heat. It's a little bit hot here, really hot down on court, but that's motivating Rachel. You saw her smile as she turned around there. They're back in this.
7-1.
Quick hands from Khlif, puts that down. This is back and forth. This is what we were hoping to see.
This is Major League Pickleball right here. It's the back and forth. It's the strong drives. You know, cross court dinks. This is what we see as we see this former D1 tennis player getting ready to serve. Rachel Rohrabacher. Atmosphere that you get anywhere else.
There we go. Khlif going cross court to Dekel Bar, and Dekel Bar more than happy to go after Rane. Rane not able to keep that ball in play. Khlif may think about going through the middle again.
Yeah.
That's where they found a lot of joy. That's phenomenal play from Khlif.
Way to go, way to find the hole. He tried to get Bar back out on the right side with a couple hits. He did that phenomenally, and getting back down to that spot a little bit further back in the transition zone where we saw Bar and Rohrabacher not able to return it just due to miscommunications earlier in the game.
Devilliers over to my right, bouncing up and down in excitement. He'll be on court next.
Cross court from Khlif.
Tremendous defensive reset from Rohrabacher in the middle of that rally.
Yeah, she hasn't gotten too much credit yet throughout the match. I mean, she's had some really good highlights and whatnot, but some of her shots have been able to really keep them in the match.
Yeah. Bar has the highlight reel, but he needs his partner to give him the opportunities at times. Good call of no. A duck and the ball sails long. Miami with the lead.
Brooklyn has one more server here.
7-8-2.
Oh man, he's able to execute the ATP that time as Rane not able to return it. But again, to their credit, Khlif did call, hey, watch that.
Yep. Heavy backhand side spin, put that ball wide. Dekel Bar more than happy to take it. Again, Rohrabacher is just a wall right now.
There is nothing getting by her that she knows is fully hers. And Khlif, you know, he was doing a good job, you know, trying to put Brooklyn where he thought he was going to. He sped it up too fast to Dekel, and Dekel was ready for it.
9-8-2.
So Brooklyn now with the lead, 9-8-2. Dekel Bar trying the lob. Instant regret.
As soon as he hit that, he knew that that was going out. You see Jay over there, he is excited. You know, that's one thing that you get in MLP that you don't get in normal tour events is the team is excited.
Yeah.
8-9-1.
Definitely some nerves on both sides. This time it's Khlif. Really like the slice on that backhand to keep it low, went underneath the paddle. Well, one of the interesting stats comes from Miami. 24 third shots. Guess how many drops?
Ooh. I don't know, you'll have to tell me.
1.
Wow.
And it's because of Khlif. Khlif is driving every third that comes his way.
it's dangerous to drive on Dekel Bar, you know, being such the powerhouse that he is, but
It's working.
Khlif's able to place those
9-9-1.
drives right where he wants it.
There's a great example. Another third shot drive from Khlif, and he earns the point. Guess what, everybody? It's game point Miami.
10-9-1.
That Ernie is very risky that Dekel tried to do, because on one hand you do get a very unique angle, you know, jumping off the court, but at the same time now you're leaving your partner there all by themselves.
Some might say he does it a little too much, but it worked there. Still game point. Rane couldn't quite get the angle. Maybe she ran out of room, but it hit the side of the post.
That dominator net that's on the court, you know, you have to get a little bit wide on any ATP, but you're almost running into your team. That's something that would make me even stop in my tracks.
Well, this time Rane runs off the court to hit the backhand Ernie. Devilliers loves that. Comes, gives her a high five.
9-10-2.
She wanted that Ernie again, didn't get it.
Bar tried to poach it, snapped the wrist, but it was too low.
Didn't quite get it. That's that, you know, you asked me earlier if I was Miami, what would I be doing? And I said I would be looking at that, you know, about third end of the court, and that's exactly where they went on that point. Very good execution by Miami.
Game point number 3. Khlif drives it, but it's a little long.
Rachel, the experienced player she is, she knew that was going out. Before it even landed, she called that out. Very good lead by her.
10-9-2.
That was tremendous from Rane in that point with the defense against Bar.
Pairing.
Indeed, and I think maybe the wild card might be Bui.
Yeah.
Time in.
How well will she
0-0-2.
play against some very established pros?
Side out.
Newman goes straight at her and gets what he wants.
Yeah,
Unforced error.
You know, Bui, she does have the Division I
0-0-1.
tennis background, so very, you know, still very experienced in the competitive world. Bui has been known for her competitive net play, you know, at the kitchen line. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. As many hand battles as we saw in the last matchup.
Riley Newman speeds it up on Bui. Bui pops that ball high. Newman says, thank you very much.
Yeah, Jay couldn't quite get a paddle on that as high as that ball was to Newman. And all of a sudden, it's 2-0-1.
That time Devilliers is able to get his long right hand on that ball.
Returning the favor over to Riley Newman that
2-0-2.
time. Jay cheated over to that right side, left that left side open. Riley Newman taking full advantage as Bui not able to adjust as quickly as maybe Devilliers would have wanted.
And I like his shake of the head. You're not getting that past me. No way.
3-0-2.
Newman went for the Ernie. He did make contact, but got himself way out of position. And that's one of the risks you take with an Ernie. If you go, you've got to put it down.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Bui able to return it, Devilliers able to put that away because, you know, Kawamoto was on the court all by herself.
There's the energy and emotion from Devilliers.
1-3-1.
Bui, you see, looking over at Riley Newman saying, yeah, okay,
yeah, you
I
want to
can
play
do
that
this.
way? Well, I'm going to do that too, absolutely.
And that's part of the MLP emotion that we so love. Riley Newman is the one who sped it up and ultimately won the rally. Lots of people watching this match. Of course, plenty watching the championship court as well.
Serves away by Jay.
Hard drive from Devilliers, but not quite over the net.
3-2-1.
That two-handed backhand from Jay to Kawamoto, just couldn't get it back over the net.
3-2-2.
Oh, look at Riley Newman. Don't do that to me, he says. You're not going to get away with that.
Bui just walks away. She knows what's going on. And she's going to adapt to that. I just put a little bit of a chip on her shoulder as she goes back to receive this serve. Good communication there, led to a great put away by Jay. Bui calling him in. And man, Riley Newman, she wanted that to happen.
Interesting that Miami really do seem to be going after Riley Newman. Of course, I say that, and what happens? No, they probably heard us. We'll try this other thing.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, the wind picked up as soon as that drive went back over, and that kind of, I think, had a little bit of effect of that ball not getting it over the net.
Your thoughts on attacking cross-court like Bui did to Kawamoto?
Yeah, I mean, I think that she wanted to stay out of trouble with Riley Newman. That did not serve her well last time she picked that fight. So doing a cross-court maybe in that position wasn't a bad time. Ooh. I think that went a little out. Jay did not, or stayed in, excuse me. Jay not calling that out. This match drawing quite a crowd up here in the broadcasting booth area.
Oh, yeah. And was that in or out? Brooklyn think it was out.
Referee timeout. We have a challenge of the outcall.
And a challenge is coming. So we're
after review, the outcall stands.
Ooh, outcall stands. That was a tough one. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'm not the official. Doesn't matter what I think.
No, the officials have some. We have some of the best pickleball officials here for MLP this weekend. The MLP does a great job of training their officials. So if that's the call they made, that's the call we're sticking with here.
I've got Jackie on 6.
And when you can't quite tell, the call stands. You have to be clear. The ball has to be clearly in to make that decision. So they make the turn at 6-2. That's great defense from Newman, but the last one, his paddle was faced too high. The ball sailed long. Brooklyn.
6-2-2.
Wind picking up a little bit more here in Orlando.
Side out.
Bui wanted that one.
Yeah.
She was right in Newman's face about that one.
I like her energy. I like her energy.
2-6-1.
Ben Johns up to our right, enjoying this match as well. He saw Riley Newman bury that one through the middle.
Not only do we have Ben Johns, we have Connor Ogden and Connor Pardo up here. This match is drawing quite a crowd up here.
Some serious hitting on both sides, but the ball hits the net on the side of Miami.
6-2-1.
They need points.
Bui not able to quite get that one over the net. Looking to her coach and team for a little bit of guidance on that.
Well, Newman having a little chatter with the team he's facing on the right side. And again, look at him.
Oh man, he was going head to head with them, and
as a fan, I love it, the interaction, etc.
As an athlete, though, I could see where Miami's starting to get a little frustrated down there. The Miami general manager showing a little frustration.
Ooh,
catches that corner.
I think it was in. What a shot from Kawamoto.
I think Miami knows it's in as well, so they're not going to challenge that. The fans at MLP, obviously we've commented on that a few times. Amazing here at MLP.
Bui had the ATP available, but the paddle didn't come back towards the court. It went away. And just like that, it's game and match point for Brooklyn. And there it is. Newman claims it. One of the question marks we had coming into this season was